The generation of children that is going to our schools today, they live in a parallel world as well, apart from the country that they're born in, which is the digital country. So just like we have laws, rights, responsibilities as a citizen of India, these citizens of the digital world also have certain rights, responsibilities, and ways to behave, things that they should be careful with. So all these attributes need to be educated, children need to be trained, they need to be exposed to. So all this in totality will be called digital citizenship, because this is what is expected of them to, because as they progress through lives in years beyond schools as well, this world will take up more and more of their time. So they need to know how to live in this digital world, and they need to learn it from our generation, which does not have experience of living in that world. That makes it very challenging. See, these children are living in a digital world. They're spending a lot of time, and this amount of time that they're spending is increasing every year, year after year. So there's no escaping it. It's not something that schools can just get rid of and say, it's not as simple as say, okay, switch off your technology and you can stay in the world that we grew up in. So it's something that schools have to adjust and understand that this is going to be an important part of their lives in school, beyond school as well. So it is our responsibility as schools to train the children on how to live properly in this digital world, because they're going to be spending increasing amount of times in this, and that is why I think it's very, very important for schools to somehow get children comfortable with this world. I think the responsibility of schools starts from an awareness of what digital citizenship is, and I think as adults, as schools, we still are in a fluid state. We try to understand and grasp what it means to be in clear terms about what digital citizenship is all about. For example, social media did not exist 5-6 years back, and so now it does. So how does that change things? Touchscreen technologies, the way the phones, the touch tablets have entered our homes, and here 7-8 years back we were looking at lives with laptops and desktops. So the rules of the game are also changing. So I think the first is an awareness of this, and things are never going to get constant. Today it's social, there will be something called Web 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, it will keep on happening, and schools need to be have that flexibility inbuilt. So you cannot just create some rules today and expect, okay, this is what my laws are and I'm going to put it in the diary, so these are what the rules should be for online behavior, and this is what everybody is going to be following, and we just print the same diary year after year. It's not going to be as simple as that. What we need to know is that and understand is that this is going to be constantly changing things that are going to happen. So once we understand what it means, we have to try and involve the community, which means teachers, which means the parents, and the society at large in the whole discussion as to what it means to be a good digital citizen. And most importantly is the students as well, because they are the ones who are spending the most time. They are in that digital world. For them, it's very natural. For them, technology is not a big deal. For us, it's a big deal because we have not grown up with the technology. It doesn't come natural to us. So involving the students also is very important. So right from framing certain guidelines to disseminating them amongst all the stakeholders through whether it's teachers' workshops, through the school notice boards, through one-to-one counseling, parent-teacher meeting, parent orientations, and get everybody involved. And this is not going to be something where it's just, as I said, just one rules and you just spread it. It's going to be a constant discussion which are going to happen, and this is how I think. But the basic core thing is that to make people aware of the importance, which is lacking right now, and schools are kind of turning a blind eye towards it and dealing with it with a simple solution like, okay, no mobile phones allowed in the school, and that's not the way to go about it. I don't think so. I think we are yet to come to terms with what it means to be, simple things like when it comes to cyber safety is protection of your passwords. What kind of pictures are you posting online? What is privacy? What has to be shared with the world? A realization where whatever you write once is forever. So how are you publishing things? What are you copy pasting? Where are you taking things from? All these are a new set of rules which I think we adults are not used to, and I think that awareness is yet to set in, and it's a very, very critical thing. And then it leads to cyber safety, leads to cases of cyberbullying as well, and sometimes because we fail to identify those early signs of cyberbullying, by the time we realize it's very late, and it's a shocker for everybody when they see that how long this has been going on. See, what we see these days is 2-year-olds who can play with apps, but they can't tie their shoelaces, but they are fully, comfortable looking up a video and searching on YouTube with their whatever spellings they can manage and come up. And the mobile phone with YouTube has become the pacifier, we call it now in this generation, the parents, that the kid is crying, give him your smartphone and he'll keep quiet for the next 2 hours of your car journey. So these children are very, very comfortable with technology. See, the basic thing is that what is technology? Technology is something that is invented after you were born. So for us, things like a scooter, a television, they're not technology, they're just household stuff. So for these children also, because the internet was invented before they were born, for this generation, internet is not technology. It is not. It comes very natural to them. So I think we all need to first. The important thing is first that realization, and which is not coming right now. And I don't see schools really focusing on awareness of this, how serious this issue is. And so when it comes to the age, I think first is once schools realize it is important, and then start as early. And it could be simple rules for children as well. What do you mean when a 2-year-old is given a technology in his hands? You're giving a phone to a 2-year-old or a tablet to a 2-year-old. What rules govern that? What should he do and what should he not do? So I think it starts very early, and you have to start very early with this. And the minute you give technology in the adult's language to a child, you must give it some certain rules and regulations. What is he expected to do? How is he supposed to behave online? What can he not access? What can he access? Parents, of course, should put in their own filters. There are softwares too, but again, children are smart these days. They can easily bypass all those filters. But still, teaching them why it's morally right to behave the way that we've been telling them to, that is an important part of the process. See, cyberbullying is definitely there. I mean, and you cannot turn a blind eye towards cyberbullying and just say it's a Western phenomena, it's not happening in our schools. Yes, technology has not entered the way our lives the way it has in the Western world, but it's there definitely. And cyberbullying ranges from certain things like calling children names to posing as asking somebody to reveal their personal information, to posing as somebody, spreading gossips, and it can get very, very nasty as well. And because in India, the levels are thankfully a bit lower than but it will reach the Western levels in a few years. So it is something we have to accept will happen. There's a tendency for children not to share cases of cyberbullying, because I think most adults, and our first reactions tend to be, oh, somebody's written that to you, or this is what somebody happening with you. Don't go online. Take away the phone. I think that's a big mistake. That will just encourage children not to share cases of cyberbullying. So is that because of that constant threat, and right now technology is given as a like a reward kind of, okay, here is be behaving well, I'll give you that. If you don't behave well, I'll take away your phone from you. So they don't want to share that. So I think for cyberbullying, the cases are there, but I think we are not trained yet to deal with them. It doesn't come naturally to us. So when issues are there, teachers deal with it in the way they are used to dealing with the real world bullying cases. And then it's very rare for it to be escalated to a principal level, from there to my level, where a director's level. But yes, there are cases, and we are already working on creating some kind of awareness amongst teachers to identify signs of cyberbullying, because and the signs sometimes tend to be similar. Withdrawal of the child, he suddenly turns shy, and you're seeing on the playground nobody's bothering him, but at home. And things like when a child suddenly mood changes on Monday, for example, because weekend tends to be the time when cyberbullying happens the highest. So these points of awareness, of identification of issues, has to be there in the teachers, that okay, this is what's happening. Then of course have the background, create those rules, regulations, intrinsic motivation for children to behave in a positive manner, deal with the cyberbullies, deal with the victim, how to train the children how to keep evidence of cyberbullying with them, so that if things need to be escalated, there has to be. And then just like we have issues for resolving discipline, that okay, this level, second level, third level, and then that's it. And Similarly, for cyberbullying, I think those rules and regulations have to be created by schools as well. Oh, it is going to be very, very important for schools. See, because cyberbullying is visible. You can see the bully, you see the incident, kids see it on the playground, and children can, after 2 o'clock, children go home to their own little secure nests and get away with it. But if cyberbullying starts, it's almost 24/7 for the child. There's no escaping it. He doesn't. The only way you can do is you could tend to block the child, but beyond that, it can keep happening from multiple sources. Today, communication, somebody has to communicate with somebody online. It's not difficult. So I think it is very, very serious, this is thing, and there is no denying that it should be kept as a very, very high priority thing by schools. Schools should not be ignoring it. And schools should start with, first of all, creating those regulations, which I think schools are not doing as of now, as to what is a good citizen expected to do. I mean, this is how you're supposed to behave. This is what is confidential information. This is privacy. This is your own. This is not somebody else's. How do you not hurt somebody? So that like, for example, as an Indian citizen, I know this is what is expected for me. This I should not do. Similarly, for the digital world also, I think we need to equip these children how to deal with it. So if somebody is being a victim or is troubling somebody, both parties need to be explained, and we should try and use positive reinforcement for educating children, and rather than negative steps that we can take. So I think, but the issue has to be handled at both levels, and schools need to take this more proactively, and it is being ignored, unfortunately, right now in schools, and I think there is a huge scope for improvement by schools. So we are talking about the government is leading Digital India. We are a lot of initiatives happening and in technology, improving efficiencies, communications happening, information is being shared, people have access to information on their phones now. So I think it's all very well to have all this, but I think at the same time the government should also be partnering with schools and starting this at their level as well. I mean, I'm sure schools should also be leading this, but at the reach that the government have, a school chain or a group of schools cannot ever have that kind of reach. The government also has to be aware of this and realize that with the younger and younger population every year, we're going to have more and more digital citizens, and the government can reach out to a far much larger population than a school could. So I think they need to engage with the schools, engage with the community to create these rules. And just like we have campaigns like the Swachh Bharat, anti-corruption, so we should have even a digital citizenship kind of campaign by the government through different mediums. And I think as a country as a whole, we should be mature about it, not try and turn a blind eye towards it, not think it's a Western thing, not going to happen to us. It is happening to us, and it's happening at a much faster rate than we can imagine. So let's all wake up to that and join hands and take this forward in a big way. The responsibility for this lies with all the adults. I mean, you can't expect the child. I mean, the children, of course, they build their own rules and what they feel based on their own value system as to how they should behave online. But I think it's up to all adults, and parents busy with their own lives, with their own careers, cannot be expected to, at least not all of them. Some of them may be aware of this. Some of them may be talking to the children about how to behave online, what is expected of them. But you can't expect the majority, and as of now, the majority of parents are not doing it. So schools are institutions where research and development is happening, where they should be thinking, and they are aware of what's happening. They see the odd cases, they identify those. I mean, parents can think, oh, this is a Western phenomenon, it doesn't happen in India, it doesn't happen to my kid, but it's happened to somebody's children, and schools see that all the time. So I think schools have to be the primary driver, because that's where